Hello guys, welcome once more to another video in our YouTube channel. Now, on Christmas Eve, a lower seat student broke up with her boyfriend after being together since Form 1. They decided to separate in the school premises where everything about them began at the same time. The guy was running back to his class, which is due north, at the rate of 6 meters per second, crying, and a lady is peacefully walking to her class, which is due east, at the rate of 2 meters per second, thinking if she made the right decision. Now, what is the question? Determine how fast they are moving into their new lives without each other. Alright, so this is a very technical problem and I'm going to provide two methods to be able to solve this problem. So let's begin with the first method. So in the first method, we are just going to do a brief analysis via replacing different values of time and trying to calculate how fast they are moving into their new lives without each other. Basically, how fast they are moving is basically the velocity or the speed they are moving without each other into their new lives. All right, so what is happening is that the guy is running due north at a rate of 6 meters per second, and the lady is walking due east at a rate of 2 meters per second. Now we know that the speed is equal to the distance divided by time that they are covering. Okay, therefore the distance is equal to the speed times the time. All right, now I'm going to draw a table with time and respective distances. When t is equal to 1 second, what is the distance? It is the speed times the time. So the distance covered by the lady is going to be 2 meters per second times 1 second, which will just give you 2 meters, and the distance covered by the guy that is crying where is actually 6 meters per second times 1 second, which is 6 meters. Now the distance separating them is basically because this is a distance covered by the lady, this is a distance covered by the guy, so the distance that is separating both of them at t equal to 1 second is just the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle, that is the square root of 6 squared plus 2 squared. 36 plus 4 is 40, so it's a square root of 40. And simplifying the third form, we are going to have 2 root 10 because it is root 4 times root 10, and root 4 is equal to 2. Now when t is equal to 2, we are also going to find the distance that is separating both of them, because basically if we want to find how fast they are moving into their new lives, we need to determine how fast the distance between them is changing. Okay, because how fast they are moving is a speed, and the speed is change of distance with respect to time. So we need to look for how fast the distance is changing with respect to time. That's the distance between them is changing with respect to time. So when time is equal to 2 seconds, the distance here is going to be 2 meters per second times 2 seconds, which will give us 4. Here we are going to have 6 meters per second times 2 seconds, which will give us 12. So the distance is just the square root of 12 squared plus 4 squared. 12 squared is 144. 4 squared is equal to 16. 144 plus 16 is giving us 160, and the square root of 160 can be simplified to 4 root 10 because it is a square root of 16 times the square root of 10. Now let's just end with when t is equal to 3. When t is 3, the distance covered by the lady is 6 meters, and the distance covered by the guy is 18 meters. So the distance separating them is the square root of 18 squared plus 6 squared, which will give us 6 will give us the square root of 360, which is 6 root 10, and so on and so forth. So the change in distance over change in time is basically how fast they are moving into their new lives without each other after they separated. So if I do 4 root 10 minus 2 root 10, I'll divide it by 2 minus 1. Or if I do 6 root 10 over 4 root 10, I'll divide it by 3 minus 2. In either case, I'm going to have a constant value of 2 root 10 meters per second. So they are moving at a rate of 2 root 10 meters per second into their new lives without each other. Now we are going to now use the second method, which is Alright, so in the second method, we are kind of going to use calculus, where we are going to find the distance in terms of time, and then we differentiate the distance to have the velocity. That's how fast they are moving into their new lives without each other. So having in mind that the distance is equal to the speed times the time, we can find the distance at time t covered by the lady, which will just give us 2 meters per second times time in seconds, which will just give us 2t. The distance covered by the guy at time t is equal to 6 meters per second times t seconds, which will give us 6t. Now, the distance that is separating them is basically equal to 6t squared plus 2t squared, among the square root of 6t squared plus 2t all squared, which will give you so the distance separating them is equal to d of t, alright? And since this is a right angle triangle, d of t will give us 6t all squared plus 2t all squared. That is 36t squared plus 4t squared. And 36t squared plus 4t squared is equal to 40t squared. And the square root of 40t squared is basically 2t times root 10. Alright, now that is actually the velocity, that is actually the distance that is separating them. Now how fast is that distance changing with respect to time? That's the velocity. So we have to differentiate that distance to get the velocity, and differentiating it, we need to differentiate 2t root 10, and since this is just a linear polynomial, we just get a coefficient of t, which is 2 root 10. So in either ways, the velocity or how fast they are moving into their new lives without each other is 2 root 10 meters per second. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video.